Let's talk about CLOV. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your beautiful host, Young Buffett, and in today's video, we're going to talk about everything that you know that we're going to talk about. And if you don't know what we're going to talk about, that means you're new here. That means you need to take a second, scroll down, find that subscribe button, hit the subscribe button, and now you're not new anymore. Congratulations. So, jumping right into it, real quick, if you haven't already, hop over to Finery. So Finery is my Discord, but for investing trading group. We got a bunch of cool kids here talking about stocks all day long. Also, Chick-fil-A apparently has waffle potato chips. I ordered French fries, but I got that instead, and I was very upset. And I was trying to figure out, how do I short Chick-fil-A? And Tim told me to buy Wendy's, so we might need to buy some Wendy's. But before we do that, let's take a look at what people are talking about. So over at Ape Wisdom, we're tracking Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stock market, investing, SPACs, options, and day trading subreddits. Everybody's talking about SPY. It's just been ripping after Powell talked, after some of this China drama's cooling off, but I don't really think it's cooling off. So let's just wait and see what happens in the global markets in the next coming days. But BlackBerry had an absolute killer earnings. I think they're just mostly in cybersecurity and stuff now. I was always curious to see if BlackBerry moves, will other meme stocks move? Because BlackBerry was a part of this whole meme stock movement stuff, but nothing really happened. So we'll see. Then we got Canoe, Go EV. Then we got Smile Direct Clubs kind of dying off. GameStop, Palantir, Facebook, Wish, AMC, Tesla, Sophie, Nike, Clover Health. So overall, positive public sentiment. It's about 60%. Nearby words including BB. See, BlackBerry. See, everybody talks about CLOV and then BlackBerry, but then when BlackBerry moves, CLOV doesn't really move. So I don't know. We'll see. Then we got calls, shit, more like Moon, OCGN, better buying Dawn, which we found out is don't. Tilray hit after investing, and minutes. All right. Overall, people are still talking about it, which is fine, which is good. It's great. But I like to take a look at this because it shows me Wall Street Bets ticker sentiment, and it gives me a nice little visual of who's talking about what. And I don't even know. Oh, CLOV's right here. So we got BB, Go EV, pretty similar to that last list of stocks we just saw. CLOV all the way down here. This chart, though, is cooler. We like to take a look and see where the stock price is compared to the comment volume. And they're kind of meeting. They're just hanging out right there. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if the stock's going to go up first and then people are going to talk about it. I don't know if it's going to be a gradual incline there. We're just documenting our journey, tracking it one day at a time. And max pain has not changed, but remember it did change since Monday. Monday it was 8.5. Now it's 8. If you don't know what max pain is, I have a video from a month ago or so. I explain max pain is the strike price that the stock has to be at to cause the most amount of damage for calls and puts. Lot of calls. It's a lot of people with a lot of calls. And a lot of this stuff's going to expire out of the money and completely worthless. Same with the puts. Why are people buying $4 puts? CLOV, I don't think CLOV's going to 4 this week, so calm down. But max pain is 8. So why we like to take a look at this is to see, is CLOV going to close at or just below or just above 8? And it seems like that might be the case. Jumping over into dark pool data, and this will tie into a Reddit post that I saw. Net short volume is significantly dropping on the dark pool. So the net short volume is negative 218,000. Earlier in the week, it was negative 3 million. Then it became negative 2 million. Then it became negative 1 million yesterday. Now it's negative 218,000. That means there's less and less dark pool shorting going on. It's very interesting because it's not really doing much to the stock price other than it's kind of letting it breathe a little bit, huh? It's it doesn't feel like it's just getting dragged down every single minute. Net short volume in dollars, negative 1.7 million. So keeping a close eye on this to see how everything digests. But I saw this Reddit post. Has anyone noticed that the daily short ladder attacks and aggressive manipulation seem to have slowed down over the last several trading sessions? Maybe it's just because of the market makers and hedge funds finally have the price of CLOV where they want it. If that's the case, maybe they will finally cover and start setting long positions. It seems like there's a little more money to be made by shorting the stock. Yeah, that's probably the case. Because if you look at CLOV, how much lower do you want this thing to go? So we saw before all of the hype and before all of the crazy activity, right? Saw 16 naturally. It worked its way down all the way to 6. A lot of that momentum from 16 to 6 in the natural times was just a lot of shorting, right? I like to attribute a lot of the shorts coming from this time frame here. Then it kind of did its thing and it was consolidating, and then it went right back up to about 11 or so, and then it got shorted again and started seeing downward pressure all the way down back to 6.5. Then GameStop, AMC, short squeeze, everything, CLOV, BlackBerry, Nokia, Bed Bath & Beyond, all of these stocks that were heavily shorted and heavily manipulated saw a little pop here, right? So that's where we saw from 9 to 28.5. Then right back down, probably heavily shorted once it hit those prices. So you pretty much restart the clock because hedge funds and market makers take a look at prices all the way up there and say, nope, we're going to short that all the way back down. It saw then 10 and 11, and then it worked its way back up to 15, and then it started working its way brutally down. This is where we started getting involved here in tracking and documenting our journey, but from about $13 all the way to 8, consolidating and not doing much. 8, 7, 8, 9, saw a high of 9.5, worked its way back down to 7.5, working its way back up all the way to 11. Everybody got a little excited over here, and then it kind of just almost restarted the clock again, and it started working its way down from 11 back down to 7. I'm curious to see how the cycle continues. Now, the reason why I say restarted the clock, because take a look at this. Let's put ourselves in the market maker's shoes or the hedge fund's shoes, right? So let's say, let's just take a look at the options for a second. This is probably an easier view. So let's hop over to October 15, okay? And let's say CLOV shoots up, and it shoots up from 7.5 to all the way to 12, okay? All the way to 14. That means all of these options that are out of the money up until 14 would then be in the money. And look at the options prices when they're in the money. You got 300, 200, 100, 600, 500, 400. So they inflate in price, right? If you are a market maker and if you are a hedge fund, you want to capture all of that premium. And honestly, if you have 100 shares or more, you might want to even get in on that. You might want to sell premium. You might want to sell a call. So what they do is they then sell the $20 calls. They sell the whatever's above their cost basis. Or if you want to get into the synthetic shorting, that's a whole nother video. They might also be doing that. But anyways, also there's dark pool stuff, but we're not going to make it complicated. We're going to keep it easy. We're going to keep it on a retail level and explain it in the normal language that we understand. Now, my whole point about restarting the clock is when the stock price shoots up to 11, like we saw earlier in the month, all of these contracts inflated in price. So what they do is then they sell it to you, or they sell it to whoever is buying these calls. They collect that premium, and then the stock price starts to go back down. That contract that they sold you starts to depreciate in value. And what did you do? Now you're losing on the option. They're winning on the option. They collected money, and they're going to hold it, and they're going to hope, and they're going to force CLOV to not exceed that price. And that refers back to our max pain. They want to cause the maximum amount of pain on both the calls and the puts. So it just makes sense that when the stock price shoots up, you might actually expect it to stay down low as they wait and wait and wait for these options to expire worthless so they can collect all of that premium. Now, is the stock price where they want it to be? We don't know. A lot of things happen in the dark pool. We don't know what their strike price is. We don't know which contracts they sold. We don't know where their short price is. All we know is every time it shoots up, comes right back down. They collect their premiums. They pad their stats. They spend millions to avoid losing billions. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comment below. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next video.